Good morning, FLOSSTUBE. I'm Melva, and you're watching Stitching with Melva. And this is my 2024 WIP Parade as well as plans video. I decided to do both of them together, mostly because I'm lazy and I didn't want to do two videos. So this is going to be a very long video. So I hope you have a drink, a snack, something fun to stitch on, because we're going to be here for a while. So just some stats from 2024. I don't keep stats like how many stitches I did, but last year I did 59 finishes and I counted and I have 74 WIPs. So I'm okay with that number. This is my hobby. I have these things to enjoy, so that number doesn't stress me out. So I actually thought it was more. So I'm actually pretty happy that it's only 74. So for the plans part of the video, I'm actually going to talk about plans as we go along. So what I did last year, starting sort of mid-year, is I switched things up a bit and I started putting my WIPs and new starts into categories. So my categories worked out really successfully because I found I got to touch more of my WIPs that way. So this year we're going to do categories as well. So I like to stitch on things for like a week, just so it gets really good progress. I'm not one of those stitchers that can just stitch on something one day and then pick up something new the next day. I like to spend some time with the project. So I'll just go over what my categories are because as we go through, it'll make more sense to you. So the first one is Mill Hill, so ornaments or the buttons and beads. That's all in one category. Fancy ladies, anything seasonal. Of course, my WIPs are a category. Christmas, Halloween, stockings, anything to do with nativity and a new, as well as I guess my monthly. I really love monthly projects that have all the days, like all the months. Sorry, had a brain fart there. All the months, and I have a lot of series like that. So what I like to do is on Thursdays I like to work on Christmas, Fridays I like to work on Halloween, Saturdays I like to work on my monthlies, and Sundays is for stockings and nativity. And then I also put a category for new. So I'm not restricting myself. I can put a new project in there if I want to. If the month I don't feel like doing a new project, I won't. So I have piles of stuff. If you could see my table, you would probably be overwhelmed. And I am very terrified that my camera is going to be knocked over. So that's how high the piles are. So I think what I'll do first is I have this bucket to put some of the things that will fall over if I try and stack them up. So I think we'll do that category first. Before I started, I actually had a bit of an avalanche, so as you can see, I'm a little bit nervous about how well this video is going to go. So I did set it all up yesterday, and I was bound and determined to do the video yesterday, but after setting everything up, and as you know, if you've done a WIP parade, it is a lot of work, I was just so exhausted that I was like, no, I can't do it. So we're doing it today. The lighting's not going to be that great. It's very overcast today. It was snowing yesterday, so it wasn't any better yesterday. And then by the time I had my rest and was feeling a little bit better, it was way too dark because it was, I think, 3 o'clock, so I knew I couldn't do it before the sun sets. So we're doing it today. I'm going to try my best, and we're just going to go with that. So here we go. So the first category I'm going to show is my Mill Hill category. Now most of these are going to be new. There is one that I didn't finish last year. So let's get started. So the one that I started but didn't finish is called Father Christmas. Okay, and here's what he looked like. So I just got his big mustache and his nice bald head. Okay, and then all the ones that I'm going to start are coming up next. So this one is called Snowshoes. This one is Canada Goose. I'm one of those weird people that actually like Canada geese. I think they're hilarious. This one is Frosted Cake. This one is Pineapple. This one is called Twinkle Claws. This one is Love. Oh, there's another one that I started and didn't finish. This one is Daffodil Egg. So these Easter eggs, they're all beaded. None of them actually have any stitches in them. And let's go this way. And that's where I'm at on that one. And then a couple buttons and beads that I still need to finish. This one is called Egg Hunt. And here's where I am with that one. I love this one. Easter's my favorite holiday, so anything with bunnies and eggs I'm in on. And this is one of the Santas that I started. I think it's Mesa Santa. It's from the Southwest Santas. So here's what he will look like. And I abandoned this even with the needle on it. Oh my God, call the cross stitch police. That's where he is. And this one is another buttons and beads. It's called Luck of the Irish. This one is a Satsuma Street one, which I adore Satsuma Streets. I have so many of them that I've already completed. So if you're wondering what I do with all these Mill Hill Satsuma Street kits, I actually have a tree, a small tree that sits on one of my tabletops, and I actually decorate it for the season. So I have some that are good all year round, and then of course I have Christmas, tons of Halloween ones, and I'm starting to get more Easter ones. So I don't make them into magnets or do anything, so I get to enjoy all my Mill Hill ornaments and my Satsuma Streets all year round. This one is Lolly Claus. And the last one is one of their bigger ones, and I've had this for a long time. It's 7 1/4 by 7 1/4, and it's called Cherish Families. I bought this one, oh gosh, back in like 2007 maybe. Okay, so the next category we're going to do is my new starts, just because I have a little basket and I want to put them in the basket before I get to my actual WIPs. So this one I'll take out of the bag here. This is a Sue Hillis design, and it says the beatings will continue until morale improves. I always thought this was funny. So that's going to be a quick little stitch. The next one is Ink Circles, and it's called Tea Time. I've actually already completed the coffee time, and you'll see in my WIPs I have cocoa time. So what I did is I actually got, I think it's called Baby's Breath. I can't see it, let me just check here. yeah, baby's breath linen. That was what Coffee Time was on. So I just got baby's breath for all of them just because I wanted them to look more like a set. And then this one is Small Red Hearts. And this is an Al Forest embroidery called, I think it's called Bayou Cat. I've always loved this one, so I decided to actually get the kit, so I got the variegated floss as well. So cute. And then this one is called Gentleman, and I bought it because we had a Sphinx cat for 15 years last year. He passed away just after his birthday, so that was a very sad time for us. We miss him desperately, but this just made me laugh because I never see cross-stitch pictures with Sphinx cats in it, so I was like, well, of course I have to buy that. And then this one is a Shannon Christine design, and it's called Kiss Me. And the last one is a Jim Shore kit, and it is 12 Days of Christmas. Okay, so we can put the bucket down. And one pile didn't fall, so I'm very excited about that. Okay, so I think the next category we're going to do is my seasonal pieces. So there's a lot of new starts I want to do in that one as well, plus some WIPs. So let me move this now, because that was the pile that actually fell over before filming started. So I want to get that unstable pile out of the way. So the one I want to start is called Bent Creek, and it's called Lucky. And then I already did one of these, and off the top of my head I can't remember which one, but they're Lizzie Kate's Celebrate. I think I did the Valentine's Day one, that was right. And this one is the Luck one. And this is Thanks. So I'm just counting that as a set because I already started and finished the Love one. And then this one is a Scattered Seeds Sampler, Spring Gathering. There was another one that I actually started and finished. Was it last year or maybe the year before? So now I can have the set done. And this is another Lizzie K called Hello Spring, and it actually comes with the things you need to finish it. It doesn't come with the floss, but it comes with the linen as well as the backing material and the buttons. So you make a little pouch. And then this is Raise the Roof design. I love Raise the Roof designs. They haven't been designing for a really long time, so now their stuff is a little bit more challenging to get. But last year I did their clothesline series, so I did Love Laundry and Clean and Green, which was their St. Patrick's Day one, and this is their Easter one called Peter Cotton Knits. I also have their Santa clothes and their turkey dressing one. They have two Halloween ones, Witchy Wash, which is not really my thing, but they have Vlad's, oh, what's it called? Vlad's something. And it's basically a vampire's laundry, which I love, but it is impossible to find. So if I ever find that one, I will definitely buy that one. And then the last new one, which is actually going to be a restart, I bought these as kits. So they are the Janlin sampler series. So they have spring, autumn, winter, and summer. And I did start it on the 14 count, but I wasn't really happy with the 14 count, so I'm gonna switch it out to 28 count, and this is the spring sampler. Okay, and now we're going to get into WIPs. So the first one is his and hers Thanksgiving stockings. And I have this huge piece of 36 count linen, and I'm not sure why I have such a huge piece, but and this is where I got to on that. I just start with hers. So I'm doing this 1/2. Every time I work on 36 count, I always do 1/2. Okay, and then this one is by Calico Confectionery, and it is called Marshmallow Row. So I've actually changed all the colors because I wanted to make it more Eastery. So I switched them out to just over-dyed floss that I had in my stash. And this is how far I got on that. Okay. And then these are my bird series. So there's a whole bunch. I finished the coffee bird, which I'll show you in a moment, but there's also a Valentine Day bird, St. Patrick's Day bird, an Easter bird. And this is 4th of July, but I'm going to make it Canadian, so I'm going to do July the 1st, which is Canada Day. Thanksgiving bird. And then stitching bird. Okay, and I have this on a big piece of linen, but it will be enough linen to do all of them, I believe. So this is the coffee bird. And then I'll just make them up into little pillows that I can put out seasonally. But the coffee bird and stitching bird can stay out all year round because it's always time for coffee and stitching. This one is Basket of Bunnies. So these are 3-dimensional stitching, and I finished the boy bunny last year, so I'll get started on the girl bunny this year. And I'm not telling you the fabric, mostly because I don't know what it is. I'll never remember the name of the fabric, and almost all of my fabric is 32 count linen. I don't remember the names because I don't really care, so you won't get that information from me because I absolutely don't know what it is because I don't keep track of that stuff. This is another Calico Confectionery, and this is called Easter Blessing. I like these patterns, but she does pick some pretty weird colors, like green and pink aren't Easter colors, so I picked traditional Easter colors, which are purple and yellow. And I didn't put any yellow in yet, but I will just for the accent. And this is just an over-dyed purple that I had in my stash. Okay, this next one is practically done, so it won't take too long for me to get it done. It is from La Di Da, and it's called Spring Hair. And I hate borders, so I actually don't think I'm going to do the border, so I just have to finish the rest of the alphabet. I don't think it needs a border. And I did do a variegated thread because I thought his bow tie and that flower needed to be an actual color, so I did switch up the colors a little bit of a pop. Okay, so that was all my seasonal categories. Now we're on to fancy lady category. So there's some that I do want to start, and I don't know if I'm going to start all of these, but again, it's just my hopes and dreams category if I want to start them or not. This one is a Mirabilia Miss Valentine, and this is a kit. It has all the overdyed floss and the Krennic. It has the linen as well. So I love her because I love pinks. It's one of my favorite colors. And then this one is Thanksgiving Harvest Fairy, which she is absolutely gorgeous. I love her so much. And this one I've had in my stash for a long time, Red Mermaid. Now I did switch out the fabric to 32 count navy because what I heard from some people is the Ada, when you put it in a Q-snap, it actually got a little bit discolored. And she's so beautiful, I just want to do her on a linen instead. Okay, and then these are the ones that I've already started in Fancy Ladies. So this is a Mill Hill one. She's called Ocean Song. And she's actually done on 14 count blue Ada. So I'm just using everything in the kit. And this is how far I've gotten on her. I did work a bit on her last year. She's a little bit slow going though. Okay, and this is Mirabilia Shakespeare's Fairies, it's called. I love this one too. I don't really see too many people stitching on it on FLOSSTUBE. And here's where I am on the fairies. I think it goes this way. That seems right. Okay, and this one I just call April Fairy. I'm not sure if that's actually her name, but this is where they did that series of gemstone fairies. And I switched her out to a nice pink, so all that white would show up nice. And I did work on her last year. This was a birthday start a couple years ago. So I'm excited to do some more work on her. Okay, gotta start moving some things around here. This is a Dimensions kit called Simply Vintage. This one reminds me of my mom so much because when we were little, she used to make a lot of our clothes, so we would spend lots of time at Fabricland looking through all the patterns of all the pretty dresses and pretty clothes she was going to make for us. And this one came with a 14 count Ada, so I really wanted to switch it out. So I think I went That looks like a 32 count, just a 32 count linen. Oh, and before I forget, I was having a little chit chat with Rosie from the Rockies, and she was talking about dimension kits and not really liking the fabric because the fabric isn't that great for most of the kits. So what I usually do, if it is a full coverage and it has like it's dimension gold kit, where you have to use like 2, 3, 4 strands, I pick a higher quality of Aida in that same size, because if it's full coverage, you're not going to see it. If it's a regular dimensions kit where you're going to see the background and it's only basically half stitches or cross stitches where you don't have to double up or triple up on the thread, I switch it out for linen. So I find that works best for me. But I'm going to talk about dimensions kits. Oh, there's my sister calling me. We'll just ignore that. I'm going to talk about a dimension kit I have a little bit later on when we work through my regular WIPs. Okay, this other one I have is Miss New Year's Eve Fairy. This is another one of the Mirabilia kits. Now I did work on her, but I'm actually not going to see much of a difference because I had to take out the Krennic because I didn't like how it was lying flat. So I worked a little bit more on her dress. So that's where she's at. And then I think this is, let me see here. Nope, two more of my fancy ladies. So this is Earth Dancer. This is by, I think, Lavender and Lace. And I haven't worked on her for a long time, so she needs some lovin'. So that's why I'm glad I'm doing things a little bit differently this year, because I'll have more time to work on my WIPs this way. So she's on a gigantic piece of fabric. There she is, she's so beautiful. I do wish after doing her skin that her skin was darker. It's pretty light for an Aboriginal person, but again, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to keep it as is, but that is a bit of a disappointment to me. Okay, and then the last one is going to be a new start in my fancy ladies, and I'm probably going to start her this month, and it is the Aries from the series that they just put out. Did they say? Oh no, it's just the horoscope series, I guess. So I have everything for her ready to go. Okay, now the next one is going to be my Christmas category, where I'm going to stitch on Christmas every Thursday. So this one is going to be the first one that I stitch in January, and it is Satsuma Street Deck the Halls. I love this one because just such interesting different colors for Christmas. It's not regular Christmas stuff. Okay, and this is going to be a banner, so this is going to be a little bit on the longer side. So let's see if I can get it all in screen for you. So I've actually done quite a bit. So how I'm going to work on these Christmas ones is I'm just going to work on them until I don't want to work on them anymore, and then just switch them out. So there's no goal to finish like a section or anything like that. I like to be pretty easygoing with my stitching because this is what I do for fun and to relieve stress. So I'm not going to put a whole bunch of goals or anything like that on top of myself. I already have enough goals for my work and for my personal life that I don't need to do it for something that I do for fun. Okay, and this one I'm not going to show you a picture because it is pretty close to done. This is Prairie Schoolers 12 Days of Christmas, with the Santas. And the reason why I stopped on this is because I like messed up on number 10, and I have to figure out if I can fudge it or if I have to take it all out. So, ooh, she's big. There we go, right at the bottom. So I'm like one off. So if I can fit it into, oh dear, gotta hang on to the top, I guess. If I can fit it into that border, I'm just gonna leave it as is. But this one is so much fun to work on, such a joy. This one I just started last year, and it is called Christmas in Blue by Joan Elliott. And I love this one, which is funny because blue is not really a color I gravitate towards, but this is just so beautiful. I felt like I needed to have this in my life. And oh, there's a piece of fuzz on there. So here's where I got to on that. Okay, and the next one, starting a new pile over here, is a Luca S and Mouse with Fir Tree, and it's a kit. I did switch out the linen on this because I didn't want to work on the Aida. I have projects on Aida. I have no problem with Aida, but for some things my preference is always linen. This one is turning out so sweet. Such a cute little mouse. Okay, and this is, I think it's called Santa of the Forest. I love this one so much, and such a joy to work on. But it is going to be big. There's where I am on that. That red is just amazing. And I love that bear so much. So I worked on him quite a bit last year. Okay, and this one is a Bothy Threads kit called Cut Through North Pole House. I love all her cut throughs. They're so cute. And this one, I'm just using the Aida. Bothy Threads Aida, though, is so nice. It is so soft and just like butter to work with. So for some reason, I started on the bottom on this one. Not quite sure why that happened, because I usually start from the center on things, so it's feeling a little bit cheeky that day, I guess. Okay, and this next one might have to be a restart because for some reason I wasn't done with the stitching, but then I put away all the floss and I chose my own floss. So what the floss is a mystery. I know it's hand dyed, but I don't know the colors. So I'm not sure what possessed me to do that. But this is Christmas Time. It's by Needlework Press. And I have the little clock that goes in it right now. It has time to stitch in it. So yeah, it's truly bizarre because I have no idea what colors those are. So I have another piece of this red fabric, so I don't know. I'll see if I can match it up if I can But if it's just too much work, because I have a lot of hand-dyed floss, I might just, you know, start it over again and be like, be better next time, Melva. Okay, and then the last one for my Christmas one is a new start, and was 'Twas the Night by Sue Hillis. I remember years and years and years ago, everyone and their cat was stitching this. Okay, now I think I need a drink. Holy, still got a couple big piles here, people. The next session is my Halloween projects that I stitch on Fridays, and that turned out really good. I really love stitching Halloween on Fridays, so I'm happy I came up with that because it works out really well. So this is Halloween cubes. So I sort of am all over the place with these ones, so I'll just sort of show these ones first. And then these other ones. So I already have Halloween started. I also have Christmas cubes, and for the life of me, I can't remember who the designer is right now. But they're so cute. Okay, and this is my beloved Chopping Mall by the Witchy Stitcher, I think. My husband and I love horror movies, so this has been so much fun to stitch, and I've got a lot of progress since you last saw this. Mostly down at the bottom. I think I'm done the bottom now. I just have to do some back stitching in here, but I started Jason Voorhees, he's doing the security. And then Pennywise, I'm gonna put a bead there because it was supposed to be a French knot for his nose, and I'm like, I can't do French knots, so I'm gonna put a bead there. But oh, it just looks so good. So cute. Okay, this one is by Artisy, and it is Halloween Minis. So I didn't get a chance to work on this last year, so I'm happy this year I'll be able to pull it out. And this one is on an 18 count. Ada, and here's where I'm at with this. So I'm going to be working on this in January and February if I want to as well. Like I said, I will work on the Christmas and Halloween ones as long as I want. And then this one is Lizzie Kate's Halloween Rules, and I am pretty close to getting this done. So I'm just going to show you in two parts because it's too hard to show you as one because it's quite a big banner. So I think I only have like a couple more to go plus the border, and then I'll put all the buttons on it. So this one is done on a 14 count Ada. But yeah, this one I didn't get work on at all last year, so I think it's time to get this one done. And this one is Heinzit and Vintage Cat. They have 4 of these vintage Halloween ones, so I bought the whole set, and I started with the cat one. And this one is almost done. This will be a pretty fast finish. I just need to do some back stitching and finish the letter A, but these turned out so cute. And this one is a buttons and beads one called Which Way. I worked on her quite a bit last year as well. So she's coming along. It'd be nice to finish her so I can have her up for Halloween this year. Okay, and I think the last one, let me just check. Yes, the last one is Sleepy Hollow, which you will see a ton of stuff done since the last time you've seen this. I've been working on this one for Fridays, and it just stitches up like a dream. So I was moving along doing the trees, and then I got very tired of doing the trees, so I went over and started on the church. It's such a big piece of fabric. So yeah, I went and did the church, I did the tombstones, and finished 2 and a little bit of the tree. The trees are a little bit fiddly because there's all that space in there for the branches, so counting is kind of a major thing, whereas like doing these blocks are no big thing. So yeah, this one's looking really good as well. Okay, so now we're on to Saturdays. So the first thing I do on Saturdays is I work on my Samsara perpetual calendar. So what I'm doing first is doing all the days of the week and the numbers. So I'm going to be starting on 0, and I'm changing up all the colors to something that I like better. So these are going to be my colors for that. The green is going to be the majority of the color. The yellow is the accent color. And then I will show you the ones I've already done. So I've done Monday, and Tuesday. This is the blank one for the numbers. This is the number 1. And then this is for the teens, number 1, which I just finished this past Saturday, and number 4. So these are full coverage, so you think, oh, they're not that big, but they do take some time to get through. And then after I work on that, so I usually like to set aside at a minimum of 2 hours if I can. And then this one is from the Heart Needle Art by Wendy, and this is the Floral Postcard series, and I'm working on the April one. And I'll just show you the April one here. So basically I am almost done. I need to finish a flower and the border. And then I'll open it up and show you all of them. Also in the pattern they had the name of the flower, but I'm not that interested in that, so I left that out. And hopefully I have enough room to do all of them. I kind of gave myself way too much room on the top because I didn't know what I was doing, and I was like, I don't think I need 3 inches around to make these into pillows, so I kind of wasted some fabric, so maybe I can do some sideways, I guess. So I've opened it up there. There we go. And then show you March. March one's pretty. So these all use over-dyed floss, but I'm really only using the over-dyed floss for the flowers, And then if there's a lot of greenery, then I do use the overdyed floss or something similar to it. But oh, and I'm also using the overdyed floss for the postage stamps and this main color here. But yeah, for the accent colors, like that's just a DMC, because I was like, I'm not going out and doing, 12 stitches with an overdye floss when the DMC will work just as good. Okay, and now we're on to Sundays. So Sundays I do stockings and I do anything nativity. So this first stocking, which I'm going to be working on first, is by Janlin Kit, and it is called Father Winter. This one is for my daughter Sarah. And he is pretty close to being done. Of course, this is back in the day where I made bad decisions and I didn't do the back stitching as I go, and now it's mostly back stitching. So and I don't mind back stitching, but it's pretty overwhelming to do all the back stitching at once. So I've learned my lesson and I don't make those bad mistakes anymore. But this one is gorgeous. I love the old-timey Santa. Okay, and then this one is mine, and it is, well, it says it's a Basilica kit, but I actually have the pattern, I think it's by Sandy Orton from the Cooler Design Studios, where you can buy all of them now. This is I Love Santa. So you've seen this lots because I've been working on it lots last year, sorry. And this one, I am back stitching as I go. Oh, there's a piece of my hair on there. You don't need that. So this one is starting to really come along. I've done the back stitching here and here and working on this back stitching up here. So it really comes to life once you put the back stitching in. Okay, and then the last one that I'm going to work on, although I don't think I'm going to work on my mother-in-law's this year, and my son's, I guess we can talk about dimensions now. So I realized that I don't really like working on dimensions kits. I love them. I love the look of them. They don't bring me joy when I stitch on them. So I picked up for him is called Santa's Flight. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I think Colette the Highway Stitcher is stitching that one, and it is absolutely beautiful, but I never take it out because I really don't like stitching on it. I don't like stitching using like 3 strands of floss. I don't like doing a whole bunch of half stitches when I just prefer to do a cross stitch. So I'm in contemplation about my son's stocking. I picked out a few that I like better that are just cross stitch and not the kit. So my husband's is a Dimensions Gold kit and my mother-in-law's is a Dimension Gold kit, and I don't think I have it in me to do 3-dimension gold kit. Like, I know lots of people love them and they love stitching them, but that is not my cup of tea. So I think it might be a restart on his stocking. I actually even switched out the Ada because at first I was like, this Ada is driving me crazy, and I bought a really nice high quality Ada, and that hasn't made it any more joyful. And I just feel at this time in my life, life's too short to stitch on something that you dread stitching on. So I think I will buy him a new stocking and perhaps start that too this year. Because these stockings have been languishing for a really long time. And I think we need to have these nice stockings. So with that little, I'll get off my my little box now and continue on with the WIP Parade. So this is called Holiday Glow. This is for my husband. And I have been making progress on this. So I did switch out this Ada. So this is not the kit Ada. This is much nicer Ada. And all of this here is new since probably you last saw it. Okay. And then, so I work on the stockings, and then I love nativities, so I work on my nativity one. So this one is Needle Bling Designs Christmas Blessing. So I've already done Mary and Joseph and the shepherds. So I just need to do the 3 wise men. And I hate stitching on black. Black is like my least favorite color to stitch. So I've actually just gotten hand-dyed thread, and Kings I'm doing in purple. So Mary and Joseph I did in a hand-dyed blue, and then the shepherds I did in a hand-dyed green, and Kings have to be purple. That's the rule. Okay, and I'm also doing a nativity set, the Mill Hill one. So I've already done Mary and Joseph, and I started on baby Jesus. Now, this is the only time this has ever happened to me where I didn't sort the thread properly. I don't know, just the names they gave to all the browns obviously confused me that day. So my cow is a very different color, so I don't care. I like the cow this color, so that just means that that was supposed to be the color, I think, of the hay. So now my hay is going to be a little bit darker. I'm totally cool with that. So that's where baby Jesus is. And then I also started one of the shepherds, Luke. And that's where he is. Okay, and then I'm also doing a stand-up nativity set on linen. So I've done a bunch of them. So I've done Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus, I've done the angel, I've done one shepherd, I've done a shepherd boy, I've done a lamb. This is the other shepherd. So I think I'm going to, for Sundays, my shepherd, I think I'm going to go back to this one. I can't show you the picture because I never printed out the picture, so the pattern is the picture, which I can't show. But these ones are a little bit complicated because there's lots of quarter. They don't look complicated, but there's lots of quarter stitches in them. They use the same symbols for different colors because the pattern is color-coded, which I absolutely hate. I hate when patterns are colored. I prefer black and white. So this is one where you do sort of have to not check out at any point because you could just be putting random colors in that don't go together. Okay, this one is also a nativity one that comes in 3 different patterns. So there's Bethlehem, the shepherds, and then of course the kings. So this one I'm doing on Ada. And this one I've made tons of progress since the last time you've seen it. So I'm just using, again, hand-dyed because I'm not going to do it in black. I think it deserves to have a little bit of color. So I always do Mary and Joseph in blue. I always do shepherds in green, and then I always do kings in purple. That's sort of my go-to. So I'm actually really close because here's Mary and baby Jesus, and I just have to do Joseph and a hill and a tree. So I'm really close on this one. And then just below, I'll do the shepherds and then the kings. Okay, and then the last one is going to be a new start for me. And this is a Jim Shore kit with a ton of beads. I mean, like, this is bead crazy. And it is the 3 kings. It's so beautiful. And these buttons down here, they're kind of hard to find. I ended up not finding this one. So it's I just bought 3 of these ones here. So I'm very happy that I found those. But I have it all beaded up. I have the buttons now. I'm doing it on a 28 count. Let's see. And this, like, pattern is bonkers. Like, this is how big it is. It's completely bonkers. And just, I'll show you. And this is the color code and all the beads. Like, this is not gonna be like, hey, this is an easy stitch. I'm sure once you start stitching and learning the symbols, it's gonna be fine, but at first you're just like, oh no. Yeah, there's Krennic in there. There's lots of different back stitching, lots of Mill Hill beads and treasures. And let's see up here if it says, in big letters it says, please read all instructions before beginning this project. You think? Okay, yeah, it's stitched on 28 count Nordic blue linen from Witcheld. And I believe that's what I got there. Okay, we only have 1 pile now. How exciting is that? Okay, let's hope I don't spill my drink here. Okay, so these are, what are these, WIPs now? Okay, so these are going to be, start off with my WIP category. So I'm going to work on 2 WIPs a month. So this first one is Antiques, Cats, and Crowns. And this came in a series, so there's keys, which I have, birds, teacups, and I want to get the scissors. There's also a basket and bunnies. I like the bunnies, but I'm not too keen on the basket, so I still want to get the scissors, I guess. So I was working on this last night, and I still have 9 more motifs to go. So these are more stitching than you think they would be, because they look super tiny and they're actually pretty big. They're bigger than I expected. And I've already finished the teacups, so I'll just show you that one. And I'm just using hand-dyed floss that I thought would work good. So this next one is, I'm going to work on it in January, and this is called Peace House by La Di Da. And I should be able to finish it because there really isn't that much left to do. That house and bunny are done, so I really only have to do like the bottom, which is like 3/4 done. The rest of the tree and the chimney, so I should be able to pump that out to have a finish in the new year. I love this one so much. And the other one I'm going to be working on in January is by Designworks, and it is called Leopard Shoe. I also have the cat called Polka Dot Shoe. And I switched out the fabric for hand dyed. I think it's 32 count. Some sort of purple, maybe pansy is the name. And I'm pretty close with this one as well, so I might be able to finish this one up as well. I just have the shoe left to do and some back stitching, so this one could be a finish as well. I just think that's so cute. And of course, I love cats, so anything with a cat in it, I'm all over. Okay, and this one is part of a series as well. It's cat tarot cards, and when I saw them, I was like, cat tarot cards. Of course I need to get that. So I think I have all of them because another one is coming in. So this one is the Emperor. This one's done on 36 count, 1/2. There is a ton of stitching in these, like a ton. I was surprised. So you could, especially on 36 count, you're stitching and stitching, you're like, did I do anything? So this one is probably not going to be a finish this year. But that's okay. I'm not about the finishes this year. I'm just about enjoying what I have and enjoying every stitch. This one is by Cottage Garden Samplings, and it's Merry and Bright. I just started this year. And this is how far I've gotten on it. I love that chickadee, so cute. And this one is almost a finish, so this should be a finish this year too. It's Hands-On Design Meow Block. And this is the one I think I talked about in my WIP Parade, where I bought the same color of fabric, but they're very, very different colors, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I think I'm going to do the top and the bottom in the same color and then not even worry about it, and because I don't feel like restitching this. So this is the top, and so there's more than enough room to do the bottom on this piece. And I think I've done the sides. I'll have to look at the pattern, but really if I only need to finish the bottom, which doesn't have that much stitching in it, this could be a finish as well this year. Because I think I've done the sides, but I don't know. I'll have to take a better look at it. Okay, this is a Charts and Charms, and this is called Noah's Journey. If you're new here, I also love nativities and Noah's Ark. I'm completely obsessed with them. I do not know why, but I just love them. So I have a whole collection of Noah's Ark patterns. And this one, I'm doing an 18 count Ada because it is going to be gigantic. So try to get it down a little bit. And I am switching out some of the colors because the color that they had for gray is actually more green. So I'm sure the dye lot has changed because this one is from the 90s maybe. I wonder if it says 1996. So I think the dye lots had changed. So I'm using the 1, 2, 3, 4 and just doing my own shading. This one was the Dolphin was a Weeks Dye Works, I think. So that's why some of this is taking a little bit longer, because I have to switch out the grays because I tried stitching with the color that they wanted, the gray, and it looked green. So I'm like, I'm not going to have green elephants. So, but I do love working on this one. This one is so cute to see the little animals, and then you backstitch them and they just come to life. Like this little turtle, so cute. Look at him. Okay, this next one is a Bothy Threads kit called Know Your Tea. And got that one off Amazon actually. And there's where we're at right now. So I did switch out this to go on 32 count linen instead of the 14 count Ada. This is another Bothy Threads kit, and this is called Cut Through Noah's Ark. And I'm using all the called for things that came in the kit, including the Aida, because their Aida is so nice and soft. And this is mostly full coverage, so, and I wanted to start this right away. I didn't want to wait for blue Aida to come in, blue linen to come in. So I need to work on some more back stitching on this one, because don't want to leave it till the end, because those cut throughs, Bothy threads are all about the back stitch, so that would just be a bad choice to leave it to the end. This is a Cooler Classic Charts by Sandy Orton, No Ordinary Cats. This one is pretty detailed and intense, so I like to make sure that I work on this every year, or else it will never get done. And here's where I'm at with that one. Okay, and this is Give Thanks for All Things. It's a Joan Elliott design. I think I took this on one of our cruises to work on. I think maybe when we went through the Panama Canal I was working on this. And I made a mistake on the border. I know, what a surprise, me making a mistake on a border. So I'm just fudging this because this top border is not correct. It was probably because I was on a cruise busy talking to people and not paying attention to what I was supposed to be doing. But I love this one. And they're supposed to be done in black, but I chose a really dark brown. And then kept the other colors the same. This next one by Sue Coleman called Native Raven. I love her whole series. She has a whole bunch of different animals and then beautiful Aboriginal artwork behind them. They're just beautiful. And the artwork behind them is just done 1/1, so it's very subtle, but it turns out so nice. So here's where I am with that. Okay, and this is Winter Reindeer. This is a kit by Dimensions. It's a Dimensions Gold collection, so there's another Dimensions Gold collection I'm going to have to fight through. I don't think this one has a lot of like 3, 4, 5 half stitch things. And this is done on 18 count. And here's where I am with that. And this is Design Works. As soon as I saw this, I was like, I need to get this. So it's called Meowie Lisa. Look at that. How hilarious is that? I love it. So I'm using the kit floss, but not the kit Aida. I don't like Design Works Aida at all. It's very thick and heavy. So I just switched it out to a linen that I had. So I just started in the middle there. So this is going to be fun to get back out again. This one is another Bothy Threads kit, and I'm so sad I hardly worked on this at all, and I just really love it. It is Bothy Threads Kings and Queens. So they actually have an add-on which I got to for King Charles. So that is fun. I think he's doing some gardening or something. So, and all I have is the start of William the First. So it's really a sad, sad start. So I would definitely like to get a couple more done before this gets put away again. And this one was a restart because I messed up, and I think I messed up again. I don't know why. It doesn't seem like it'd be complicated, but apparently I'm having issues with it. It's Deer House by Carriage House Samplings. And it says, "Dear House, you are really very small, just big enough for love, that's all. And my husband and I live in a very small place, so I thought that was super cute for us to have. Although I'm told I can't have any more cross-stitch pictures framed because we are running out of room, so that's sad. And we definitely are running out of room. We are, if you walk into our house, it's just full of photographs and artwork and cross-stitch pictures, but we love it, so we don't mind at all. And here's where I'm at with this. So I did change the colors from the blue and yellow, so we're doing purple for the words and then this hand-dyed for the house. Okay, this is part of the Ink Circles coffee pack that I was talking about. This is cocoa. I was working on this over Christmas. And it's pretty busy, so I think I'm going to take out some of the things because there's lots of things going on, and I'm like, I don't think we need it to be that busy. And then another fun thing in the pattern is right here, these are cinnamon sticks, but there's an option to put some booze in there, so I'm doing the booze option. So you can put an alcohol bottle here and an alcohol bottle there. Okay, this is just a regular Disney Dimensions kit. Is this Dimensions? I don't know. It's a Star Wars kit called Luke and Princess Leia. I've seen some other people doing this one. And here's where I am on that. Just get this thread out of the way here. And this is on the 14 count black Ada that it came with, which I don't have a problem working on black Ada. I use a magnifier for everything, even my Mill Hill kits, and I use a light shining right over my shoulder, so I have no problem with this. I'm amazed where people can do cross stitch, and I was like, where's your light? And I just find if I use the magnifier for everything, my stitches are nice and neat. So, and plus I can stitch for a lot longer because I'm not trying to strain my eyes. So that's what works for me. Now this one, I think I'm going to just let go. This is one of those Dimensions kits that I've had for, gosh, over 10 years. Winter Cardinals. And I was doing this one for my dad because cardinals were his favorite birds. But then I haven't worked on it, and I did the cardinals, and then it's like all the rest is just half stitch snow and greenery, and I was like, I don't like it, and I hate the Ada that it's on. So I think I'm just gonna let this one go. I am gonna replace it though, because before I even bought this, my dad was actually, gosh, it's older than 10 years. It must be maybe 15 years old or something. My dad was still alive. He actually passed away from dementia like 10, 11 years ago now. But I didn't know that cardinals were a symbol of like people visiting you from heaven. So now I'm like, oh, well, that's actually a really nice thing because those were his favorite birds. So I found a pattern by Stony Creek, which is coming to me, and it's like when a cardinal appears, a loved one from heaven is near, and it has a beautiful picture of a cardinal, and I got linen for that, and it comes with like a button and some charms, and I know I'm just going to be so much happier with that one, so I'm okay with letting this one go, because I'm going to be happier with the end result. So that's what's most important, I think. So this one is just embarrassing to show you because it is basically done, and it's just like I literally need to do the snowflakes on poor Millie, and then it's done. So I have no idea why it's just languished. So this one is definitely going to be a finish this year because it will take like hardly any time to do that. So that one. And then this one is even more embarrassing because all I need to do is put buttons on it, and I still haven't done that. And I think I'm going to redo this fence because it's kind of wonky. So this one is done on 14 count Aida, but it's beautifully soft Aida. So I think I need to rethink this fence because of how I did it from the back. So you have to do these really long stitches and then weave it. And I need to do the same thing on the back where I was like trying to save thread for some bizarre reason. I don't know why. And now it's all wonky. So I'm gonna redo that, put the buttons on, and call it done. So this one will be done this year as well. Okay, and then the last one is I want to do work on a project for 30 minutes a day or so. And I've tried this before, it hasn't been that successful because I really don't like working on things for such a short amount of time. But I do have some full coverage, which I do want to get some work on. But full coverage really isn't my jam. But the ones that I do love a lot and would like to see them done. So I need to come up with a way that will happen. So the first one is one I started this year, and it's Artisy Merry Folks Greeting You. And I've had this for such a long time, and I was like, you know what? I have everything for it. Like I have all the floss, and I had the 25 count, so might as well just get it started. So when I do things on 25 count, I always go 2/110. So I'm almost done a page on this. So I think I'm going to continue on. So sort of my goal to switch out these projects is to get a page finish, and then I'll switch them out because most of these are really close to getting a page done. Okay. And then this one is for my dear Hades boy that passed away last year, and it's just called Sphinx. So I started this one when he was still alive, but then it's just been hard to work on it. It looks just like Hades, except Hades had a pink nose, so I'm going to change it to a pink nose. So I do want to get this one done, but I just haven't come up with a plan to get him done. So I've worked on him a bit, but I would like to, so he's not full coverage, but this page that I'm doing now is full coverage, so I would like to get that page done. And then some of the pages, like his ears, will go much quicker because it won't be as much confetti and stuff. And then these, no, still not all full coverage. This one is the Resurrection of Christ. My husband got this one for me because he knows I like Easter. And I'm pretty close to getting a page done on this one. So obviously the top corner is always more confetti heavy than the other pieces, but I love these colors, like they're so bright and cheerful. So, and there is like, this obviously is just one color, right? So it's really confetti heavy here, but then there's like huge blocks of color, so this one isn't too bad to work on. Okay, and then this next one is sort of a marriage of a whole bunch of patterns put together. So in the middle is Sheep in the Meadow, and then around the outside is all the 12 sheep virtues, and then there's a border that goes with it. So I would like to finish the middle this year. So I did, so you have to sort of change the middle so everything will fit. So I'd like to finish the house obviously, and then I'm just going to put the sheep in wherever I want to, and then just fill it in. So if I could get like the middle done with the border, I would be very happy with that. And then start with the sheep virtues like the following year. Okay, this next one is an Artisty, and it's Old World Map. I love maps. I just miss maps so much. I do obviously use my phone for everything now, but looking at old maps, I don't know, there's just something great about that. So I'm almost done the first page, and I started on the second page, so it's just, am I done the first page? No, there's like some ninja stitches left to do, but I'm almost done. So then I can start on the second page. Oh, it just looks so good. But I'm hoping with this one, because obviously the outside border is going to be really confetti heavy because there's so much details, but then when you get to the map, you can just sort of start going pretty quick, because there's some spots that I'm sure are going to have lots of similar colors or blocks of colors. Okay, and then this one I'm definitely going to get finished this year. It is Every Child Matters. So all I have to do is do the rest of the hands. So that won't take me too long. So that should be pretty easy to do. And then I want to finish it in a hoop. I think that'll look really nice. And this was supposed to be full coverage, but I was like, I don't want to stitch, because then it went all the way out here with orange. So I was like, there's no way I'm stitching that much blocks of color for just orange. So I just picked it on an orange fabric, and I think it worked out really great. I did have to change the orange color so it matched this orange. But yeah, I still think it looks really good. And then this one, I'm not going to show you the progress, because when I did it on my last WIP parade in April, you couldn't see it because it's all white. But this is Mystic Stitch, Many Faces Polar Bear. They had a whole series of a whole bunch of animals, and all of them are great, but polar bears are my favorite animals. So, but once, you know, there's actually lots of like purples and blues and stuff in the shading. So hopefully that first page you get something that I can show you. Okay, and then the last one is something my husband got me too, so I'm just calling it the Lord of the Rings. And this one is my biggest one. It is gigantic. And I'm almost done like one page, but I've already started on